All right. Recording in progress. Okay. And then I will also share this with you guys, and I'll put it on YouTube, and then it'll be there, so that we can always like refer to it. Once again, thank you all for taking time out, because I know people are busy as things are opening up. The bitches want to be out.
Baby,
Baby,
like
right? Everybody's trying to turn up,
The streets are calling my name.
Yes, exactly.
Period.
All right, so let me just make sure that it all comes through. Bam, bam, bam. You might see my screen change. Let me just make sure I give it a title. Community Spotlight. Reunion. Okay, there we go. I can't believe it's been a year. Oh my gosh, a whole year. But just in general, guys, everything that you guys are doing, and just like in terms of creating and just waking up every day, that's like the biggest lesson that I've learned out of 2020. Just keep on doing. Like whatever you're doing, keep on doing it, because life can stop in a minute, as we saw, and you got to keep on going. If not, you'll go insane. All right, let's see. I think we are live. Let me just double check.
Streaming, yeah.
Do it. Oh, yes, Hunty. Okay, so we are officially live. Ladies and gentlemen, people of the world, welcome to the Community Spotlight Project Part 2, the reunion. All right, so hey, everyone. So happy to see you all, and happy Pride and happy summer. She ready?
Period, yes.
Yes. So as a little introduction and recap, what is the Community Spotlight Project? So the Community Spotlight Project was literally something that arose from quarantine during the height of COVID-19. I thought to myself, how can I give back to my community with my gifts and talents in a way that is impactful, and was also, and it was also Pride Month, right? So I wanted to celebrate what it meant to be a champion of diversity and being pride-filled. So little by little, I started to reach out to all of you. You're all beautiful in your diversity and, full of pride in so many of your own ways, by the passion you display for your jobs, your projects, your families, your friendships, your talents, so on and so forth. So round of applause to all of you. And in order to get everyone prepared for this, I wrote you all a letter. Not sure if everybody, read it, but it's a short letter to all the Community Spotlight Project participants. So take my breath, because this is special, okay? All right. Dear Community Spotlight family, thank you so much for opening yourselves up to sharing your story during one of the most difficult times in human history. I, as well as so many others, applaud your bravery, honesty, and vulnerability. All of the work that each of you do is immensely important, and please keep doing what you're doing, because it brings so much joy to so many people. One of the many things that I observed you all have in common is that no matter your circumstances, you never stopped working for a greater good in the face of adversity. So you are all truly inspiring. So virtual applause, she ready? So I am gonna go one by one. So we're gonna do a quick little check-in icebreaker. So I'll call your name out, and as I see you on my screen, and then you're just gonna say your name and a fun fact about yourself, okay? All right, and I think we have one more person joining, and it's Jennifer Love. Let me just make sure. Jennifer, can you hear us? Hey girl, hey. Hey girl, hey. Okay, Jennifer. So Jennifer, real quick, you're just gonna say your name and a quick fun fact about yourself, and I'm just gonna call people's names, okay? So you're right on time, no worries. All right, so I see Mikey right on my top left. So Mikey, if you wanna go first, just your name and a quick fun fact about yourself.
Sure. My name is Mike Narain. All the people who love me call me Mikey, one of those being Jomil, and hopefully Harmonica still loves me. It's been a while. Fun fact, oh my gosh. I guess I just turned, I've been living my first year as a 40-year-old man. So it's been a year of like reflection and growth. And I'm like, let me apply this moisturizer. Let me stretch more. Let me drink more fiber, Metamucil. So I think this is a fun fact. It's been going great. So I'm just happy that I've been in good health. God's good.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, thank you. All right, next I see Day to my top right.
Oh, who, me? No, so, hey everyone. So Oh, you might hear my name interchangeably. My Muggle name is Deshawn, like my birth name. But I'm affectionately known as Day in the community. I'm a link. Oh, so wait, the fun facts. Oh my gosh, the fun facts. Let's get straight to the fun fact. I love anime and video games. I'm a huge kid. Like I love cartoons. Like give me the video games. I play my Nintendo Switch. I got the proof here, so I'm into it.
There you go.
Yeah, one of my favorite games is Pokemon. I'm a big Pokemon fan. Yeah, that's to wrap me up. I'm a big Pokemon trainer.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, thank you. Okay, next I see to my lower left-hand side is Kira.
Hi everyone, I'm Kira Salazar, but my friends call me Kiki. Fun fact about myself, I love to travel. I have visited over 26 countries. And another fun fact, I used to be the captain of my bowling team in high school, and my highest score was 257. And as you know, the top score is 300, so.
Go girl. That's awesome. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, next I see right below me is Janice.
Hi, everyone. I'm Janice Lovano. So nice to meet you. Thank you for having me, everyone. So a fun fact about me is that I was in the Air Force for 12 years, right after high school. So that's why nobody could find me, because I was MIA.
Literally, OMG.
Yeah, I literally was right after high school, after graduation, in the Air Force for 12 years. And then after I had my daughter, I was like, I gotta go.
That's
So
it.
that's a little
Beautiful.
fun fact about me.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Okay, and next I see to my right-hand side, Harmonica Sunbeam. A little fun fact about yourself and your name.
Oh, hey, my name is Harmonica Sunbeam, and a little fun fact about me is, I am writing a children's book. Yes, so.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for all you do for the kids, for the children. Yes. And last but not least, we have Jennifer Love.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jennifer Love, pronoun she, her. And fun facts would be that I just turned 45 last week.
All right, all right. So, you know, we got some celebrations up in the house. Yes, yes. All right. Happy birthday to everyone that's in the 40s club. Including you, Harmonica Sunbeam. You you young. Hello, look at that hair. That's our ponytail. All right, guys. So thank you so much for sharing that little fun fact about yourself and having us all, get to know you a little bit better. So now I want to do some formal introductions, and it's just literally you can talk about what you do for work, professionally, your artistry, or your hobbies. Okay. So let me start like randomly here. I'm gonna go with Kira first.
Okay, I'm on, okay.
You got it. Yep, I can hear you.
You got me, you can hear me? Okay, great. So I'm, again, Kira. I was born in the Dominican Republic and raised in New Jersey. I just, last year, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, before the pandemic hit. So that was
Sorry.
And oh.
Go ahead.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
I heard some feedback. So right before the pandemic hit, I moved to Charlotte, North Carolina, and it was definitely not the welcome that I expected. Everything's shutting down, but I'm here and I'm happy and I'm making the best of it. Personally, in addition to traveling, I like to cook, I like to dance, I volunteer at church, I go on all kinds of adventures, and I like to be fun and open-minded. Professionally, I have over 10 years of experience in human resources. I have a bachelor's degree from Rutgers University, which is where I met Jomil, and a master's degree from Baruch College in Industrial and Labor Relations. And for work, I am the Global Benefits Manager at Assurant, which is an insurance company based out of New York City. And I have been there for over 5.5 years. In my role currently, I help manage our health and welfare benefits in the United States, and I also provide strategic support for our well-being programs globally. So when I say well-being is, we focus on the whole person, right? So physically, emotionally, financially, and socially, how can we support you? And especially with the impact the pandemic has had on people, our workforce, I have the ability to contribute, right? To make sure that we're offering the resources that employees need to be their best and to help their families as well.
That is awesome, Kira. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that beautiful, bio. And so something to keep in mind as all of us are talking, there's connections to be made, right? And there's like ways that, that we all have like similarities. So keep that in mind, okay? So I'm gonna go up. So Mikey, if you wanna go next.
Sure. Hello, once again. My name is Mike Narain. I guess in regards to the LGBTQIA plus community, I'm the founder and president of Out My Closet, an organization that services displaced and under-resourced LGBTQIA youth here in New York City, as well as we've also adapted to bring support to trans women of color as well because of that need. A very cool thing in regards to the services that we do is we go into shelters, drop-in programs, corporate spaces, and we create these amazing boutique-like shopping spree experiences for under-resourced youth, in which they could actually go shopping and take fashion-forward, high-quality items off of a garment rack, as opposed to going through a trash bag or a garbage or a box. Everything is curated and of a high quality, and we like to do this because we feel homeless youth have gone through so much. This level of extra support and dignity ascribes value to their experience. We just want to show that, we really want to show that they're loved, their lives matter, that we really care about them, and that we're here as a community to offer the best for them. I could talk about this for quite some time, but just to transition into some fun and cool things. I'm a big artsy-fartsy person. I love creativity. Interior design is something I've been really getting into, and I started a Instagram page that highlights some tips about cooking and hosting and making fine cocktails and food prep and style and design things. So maybe one day you'll see me on the HG Network. Just putting it out there for giggles and all that good stuff. In addition, I feel like I've been embracing more spirituality throughout this whole pandemic. I feel like this checked us, let us realize what's really important in our lives, and that we should really focus on uplifting one another and community in our own microcosm, as well as the world together. And it shows how something like this could have a global impact on all of us, and we have to do so much more, to support and uplift and celebrate one another as well in all ways.
Amen. I think 40 is doing you good. She looking for a husband, and she is spiritual. She's like the Buddha.
And get credit too, if that helps. And I have good dad jokes too.
Thank you, Mikey. Thank you for sharing. Okay, let me do random. So Jennifer Love, if you want to share next.
Hello again, Jennifer Love, pronoun she, hers. I am an entertainer and an activist here in Jersey City, New Jersey. I am the foundress of the Jomil Project. The Jomil Project provides welcome home packages to recently released and soon to be released LGBTQ plus people coming home from prisons and jails. I also am the co-chair of the formerly incarcerated persons subgroup for the National LGBT and HIV Criminal Justice Working Group, and I am the liaison and member of Black and Pink NYC, which also services New Jersey as well. I don't know.
No, that's good. Yeah, I mean, so you shared what you do as far as like your hobbies, your profession, you entertain, and what you do as for the formerly incarcerated. So no, that's awesome. That's awesome. But we're gonna definitely get a little bit more into like an opportunity for people to share a little bit more. And let me go down to Janice.
Hi everyone. So wait, what was it again? So I have to...
Yes. So just like a little bit of more of a formal introduction. So what do you do for work, professionally, artistries, or your hobbies?
Okay. Yeah, so my name is Janice Lavanos, like I said. Professionally, after high school, I joined the Air Force for 12 years. In that time, I also helped veterans find jobs to be able to cross-train into the civilian world, because being a veteran, it definitely doesn't correlate to civilian work field. So I worked with a lot of veterans to help them in that aspect. I'm a freelance makeup artist of 10 years and going. And I also have own a social retail business, and I'm a content creator and blogger on social media.
That's right, girl. All right, so we're gonna
Oh,
talk
and
more
my
about.
biggest and most proudest job is that I'm a stay-at-home mom as well.
Okay. And you have two beautiful children. God bless them
Yes,
always.
thank
Yes,
you.
yes. All right, so let me see. All right, so next, let me go to Day, and then we're gonna do harmonica.
Hey everyone. So I actually wanted to do something real quick to show y'all that as an introduction, I was voted most involved in high school.
Yes.
So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because I do a lot. Okay. No, so just to start off in terms of like what my day job is, I am Jomil's beautiful coworker, came under his wing. I'm a linkage specialist for AHF, AIDS Healthcare Foundation, predominantly in the Manhattan area. So basically what I do is I'm like the liaison of the community into our healthcare centers. I usually get referrals for those who are specifically HIV positive, whether they're newly diagnosed, been lost to care, or they've probably transferring from one place to another seeking healthcare. I help them get into the door and make sure that they meet our beautiful team of pharmacy reps. We also have care coordinators who work for ACQC that helps them get ADAP, amongst like other services such as like, you know, housing, transportation, mental health, you name it, we help with the referrals. That's pretty much what I do for my day job. In terms of other things that I do, because like I said, I do a lot. Professionally, I am also a dancer. The fun fact of that is I'm a pole dancer. So I pole dance, I do performances, I do instruction as well too. I actually made 2 years of being a certified instructor a couple of weeks ago. Like time went by so freaking fast. I didn't know it was 2 years, but me personally, I've been dancing for 4 years. And in terms of pole dancing, I would say that it has been the best thing in my life in particular, just for the simple fact that it has like helped raise my confidence. And additionally, just full transparency, I've had opportunity to dance in clubs as well too. And once I've immersed myself in that world of nightlife, on that aspect, it's made me even much of a more stronger ally for sex workers out there as well too. So a lot of my advocacy work that I do is, you know, catered towards fellow sex workers, fellow people with HIV positive. I'm also part of the HIV Stops with Me campaign, in part of New York, with Ja Love. I know Harmonica knows the whole HIV Stops with Me family, of course. And basically what we do is that we're 30 spokesmodels throughout the New York State area, New York City, of course, included. And we pretty much just tell our stories. I've been HIV positive 11 years, undetectable. I got it in a relationship, but there were my whole shtick of it is that there's been so many times within my status and in my journey where I felt that that life would have stopped, that my dreams of like, you know, wanting to dance or wanting to open a studio and things of that nature would have been halted. But I kept going, and especially once I found out HIV was not like the end of the road, and I maintained my health. And once my mom I told my mom everything was pretty much easy for me personally. And that also driven me to do the work that I do for my day job and to advocate for us as well too, especially for Black folks, Black LGBTQ folks who may not be aware of the resources that we actually have. So I always say, you know, closed mouths don't get fed. You got to be able to speak up for what you want, speak up for what you need. And I'd rather be that person to help you find it. So that's what I also do. And the final thing, real quick, and we'll talk about the rest of it later. I am the president of Impulse Group NYC, which is actually funded by AHF, ironically enough. And we're an organization that has 25 chapters globally. But in New York City in particular, we cater towards supporting, engaging, and connecting our gay queer community. So yeah, that is, like I said, most involved. There was a reason why they chose that for me in high school. Thank y'all for the time.
Yes. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. All right. And harmonica, if you would like to share what you do for work, professionally, artistry, hobbies, and all the beauty that you are.
Hello. Okay, so I have been a drag performer, hostess for over 30 years now. And also I am currently the North Jersey coordinator for Drag Queen Story Hour, which is a nonprofit organization where drag queens go into libraries and bookstores and festivals and schools, and we read to kids books about being who they are, acceptance, appreciating and respecting others, and things of that nature, which encourages reading and encourages more open-minded kids for a better future generation. I am also a licensed New Jersey massage therapist, and there's been of course, I wasn't voted most likely to be a drag queen in high school, but it, we didn't have those categories back in the 1900s. So, but eventually I got into the world of drag, and it's been a wonderful joyride ever since.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Well, thank you. So Harmonica, don't mute yourself yet. I'm going to continue with you for the next question.
Okay.
So in your opinion, how important is the power of storytelling? And this is so fitting for you because you do Drag Queen Story Hour, right? But in so many ways, you are a storyteller. So how important is it to you?
I believe that it's very important because, especially, and I'll relate it to kids, and also because there are a lot of stories out there to be told, right? And sometimes we go looking for these stories and we can't find them because no one has told them yet. And these stories directly affect us. You know what I'm saying? So you may go to the library and say, like, I don't see any books about any Puerto Rican boys that grew up in Camden, New Jersey. You know what I mean? Because that's your story, and you're here to tell your story. And once you tell your story, there will be other people who can identify with your story. And we're the only people who can tell a story. So, I think it's great. And no matter what we think of ourselves, or no matter what we haven't done or we have done, we all have a story to tell that someone will listen to and appreciate.
Exactly. Well said. Well said. I definitely agree. And so I'm going to go next to Janice. If you would like to share, how important to you is the power of storytelling?
Sharing your story is so important. I mean, I think throughout this pandemic, and it's just really been an eye opener, and realizing sharing our story with other people so that they find themselves in you, they relate to you, they finally feel like, oh my God, there's somebody out there just like me. I'm a sexual assault survivor. And, being able to share my story lets other people know, like, oh, there's hope for me, because the survivor rates and, what the statistics say are really grim and dark. And I've been able to overcome that. I came from the hood, Camden. I'm a Puerto Rican girl that looked like I'm a white girl. Nobody would ever know. They don't know. They wouldn't know. They don't know. But I'm Puerto Rican from the hood, Camden. Yes.
Oh, they know.
I know. And so, just like being able to overcome that and share that with other people, and them just messaging me and saying, thank you so much for sharing your story. It just really confirms, like, our stories do matter, and people need us, and people are just looking for that connection, because we've been on lockdown or have to be 6 feet apart and social distancing and things like that. And so it's just super, super important. And I just hope that with everyone seeing this and hearing everyone else's stories, that they can find themselves in one of us, and know that there's hope, and that they can live a great life and do great things, and maybe get out there and start sharing their story to help others.
Exactly. And you are already making an impact, because Marilyn said, thank you, for sharing your story, Amor. And the last community spotlight, she actually shared
Oh, yes.
that she's a victim of TV, but also, I'm sure so many people have experienced, sexual assault, but they don't talk about it. So it's so important to
I know. I mean, it's very scary. It's hard to share it without getting like gory and grim. But it was important for me to be able to like share that part of my life, because it didn't define me. And it's a whole thing too, where like people say like, oh, my story defines me. And I'm a person that decides, like, it's not that my story defines me. but it teaches me a lesson.
Exactly, exactly. Well said, well said. Many lessons to be learned in life, yes. And never let like those bad experiences have power over you at the end, right?
Absolutely, yes.
Exactly. Thank you. And
Thank you.
okay, so next, Kira, if you would like to share.
Sure. So I think the power of storytelling is it's basically giving us an opportunity to learn from another person's experience. Even with this community spotlight, Jomil, it's allowing me to connect with people that I normally wouldn't connect with, and to learn about, like, everyone has their struggles, everyone's going through something in life. And even if your journey looks completely different from someone else, I think you can operate from a place of love, being respectful, being attentive and listening, having an open mind and heart, right? And even when it's Mikey or Mike, Mikey, Mike said that he's, because of the pandemic and everything, he's more spiritual. I'm even more spiritual now, because being isolated from the world has allowed me to have like a closer connection, right, to a higher being with God. But even then, I've always been very vocal about, like, this doesn't mean that I need to turn my back on people or be like, oh no, I can't be friends with you because you do or behave in a certain way. It's about like loving your neighbor and respecting others, and that you can also learn from them.
That's right. Preach, preach. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. All right. So I'm gonna come down to, I'm gonna do all the ladies first. Let me, so Jennifer, if you would like to share.
Well, I'll be honest. When it came to storytelling, I was always intrigued to listen to others' stories. I never wanted to share my own. I had traumas and triggers from my childhood and even from adulthood. But in my mind, if I shared these things, people would use them against me. Me sharing these things would leave me vulnerable. And me being Black, me being trans, the last thing I want to do is people to naturally coin me as weak by seeing me be emotional. But with all of that, my head was so messed up. So first thing I had started doing was taking my mental health journey seriously. And I kept it from my family and friends for maybe like about 10 years or so. That was my first step of realizing that my story needed to be told. Because I don't think that as a Black community, we even think about mental health. And so me sharing that with people on a smaller scale was one thing. And then me started opening up about my incarceration. And then me opening up about me being raped, and 2 times in 2009, and being physically assaulted. And these are things that people wouldn't know. They just see me smile all the time. And I just always smile, just try to stay in a happy place. But when I started opening up, I realized that I was helping others, as you stated, as to all of you I stated earlier. And I didn't know that I should have been doing this. But I guess it's a time and process for you to process it yourself. And in the beginning of me sharing my journey and me becoming an activist, I will admit, there was not a time I wouldn't get on a panel. It could be in person. This is even before the pandemic. And questions would come to me and I would become so erratic. At the time, I felt embarrassed by it. But then when people started, after I'm getting off and I want to rush back to a hotel room, and people want to stop me and talk to me, and they're crying with me, their sister, their brother, their friend, themselves. And I'm realizing, one, it was therapeutic for myself, first and foremost, to know that I'm not the only one. And there's nothing wrong with me. And now I know I get to help others know that there is nothing wrong with you. And you can too come through this. And together, we're gonna make sure we prevent this from happening to anybody else. So it's a journey, and I know that you're taught, at least I was taught, what goes on in the house stays in the house. So it was a bottling up moment, but now it's at a point where it's not that I want to run and tell everything, but certain things I need to put out there, no matter how harmful it may be for myself. And everything I share may not be therapeutic for myself, but I know that there will be someone out there who ultimately, whether they reach out to me or not, would know that they're not alone.
Exactly. Totally agree. And that's like that's the main thing, right? That you're not alone. You're showing other people that they're not alone. And it is like you said, almost like therapeutic in a way, because you're letting it out. You're speaking your truth, and it's like you're almost like reclaiming the power back as you speak about it. So no, thank you so much for sharing. All right, so let's do Day, and then let's do Mikey.
Right, so in terms of storytelling, that's my life. And I literally went to college actually for journalism and public relations, because for me, at that time in my life, it was about me wanting to know about other people, feeling that everybody does have their own story to tell. And I was even blogging at one point because about independent artists versus like our mainstream media that we already have, because once again we have so much talent that's within our, like, horizontally, as Issa Rae says, when you like network horizontally instead of up, that they need the shine, we need the shine. I've always just been the type of person where, like, underdog, no matter who you are, we need visibility. Especially that came out more so, even a lot more so during COVID, actually. I used to be pretty quiet when I was like growing up and things of that nature, but the things that I've went through in life in terms of, once again, like my HIV status, being in college at that time, dealing with my HIV status, in a relationship that like crumbled, that I was actually in love with somebody and it freaking like, died out, dealing with finances and trying to figure out how I want to get through school. Now thinking that, hey, once again, I'm feeling that my life is shortened, right? Because I have so many of these dreams and aspirations. I was diagnosed when I was 20, like right before my 20th birthday, actually. January 10th. I will never forget that date. And I also went through, like, even as younger, and I'm finding that things have happened in decades almost. Because when I was 10 years old, that's when I was burnt out of an apartment. And my mom and I had to restart our lives, like, and once again, these things, while my mom, I know she probably out there, it's like, oh, like, why they tell all the business, because old school, as we mentioned, like, when it comes to the Black community, is very much what happens in the household stays in the household. But my whole thing, especially after I've become part of like campaigns and started being in community, is realizing that it's bigger than me. I'm getting a little choked up because I'm thinking of how, like, I'm not the only one. When I tell my story out there, whether it's like me having fun or me going through my depression days, me going through my anxieties, COVID kicked up my anxiety crazy. And that's why I'm very transparent about my mental health as well too. I'm not the only one that has been through that or have had those feelings or have went through certain hardships or whatever the case may be. We're all out there in this world trying to do our best with what we're given, and if I can learn something from somebody else and they can learn something from me, then that's why I feel like, humanity is winning. It's not about like being right, being wrong. If we can learn from one another per se, then that's where we're winning. It's when you have to combat ignorance out there, such as racism, such as homophobia, and all of those other, like transphobia and all those other things. That's what makes it much harder. And especially like societal stigmas, when you think of capitalism, like the rich versus the poor, those things also make it harder as well too. But it is our duty as citizens to tell our stories. I tell my story through dance mostly, like dancing, especially when I became a pole dancer, that has opened up worlds for me. I have a background in hip hop and street jazz and all those other things, but when it came to pole dancing, I've been able to tell so many stories of like owning my sexuality, to also protesting and using the same Black body that others might see as like invalid, same Black HIV positive gay body that the cis het white society might want to push to the side. I use that as my way to use my voice and to be able to say, hey, I'm here, my siblings are here, we ain't going nowhere, no matter what type of laws you want to put against us, no matter what guns you want to put against my community, you're going to listen to us one way or another. And to that, which I'm going to wrap up, is that, you know, no matter what your medium is, whether it's dancing, whether it's singing, whether it's painting, whether it's being a part of the community, being in NPOs and things of that nature, share your story, because you don't know the next person that you're going to touch. Like, and I want to shout out HMI real quick, Hedrick Martin Institute, because I used to be a youth from them, and they helped me as well too become the person that I am now, to help share stories of how I was a youth then, uncertain, to be able to help people like now. Like, you know, oh my God, let me stop. I'm getting really teary.
It's okay. It's okay.
Like, it's the importance of just telling your freaking story. We here exist, okay? Like, exist and document your existence. Mojo Disco said that.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And don't be afraid to let it out, whatever you need. All right. And someone who definitely shares similarly to like you, Deshaun, you know, young people's stories all the time is Mikey. Mikey, if you would like to share.
This is so fantastic. I'm going through the notions. I'm like, part of me, like when the short stories are being told here, you know, in context of the conversation, I'm just like, I feel it, especially in regards to the domestic violence, the sexual assaults. All these things are so important. These voices are so important to be heard. So there's a lot of things, all these thoughts that I was thinking about. Part of my story is that I grew up in the church hardcore, almost a youth pastor, and the word of the Lord says that we overcame the adversary by the blood of the Lamb and the voice and the words of our testimony. So that part is very important in the sense that there is so much power in life in words, and not only words, in arts, in conveying messages of hope and resilience and empowerment and experience, and having a background in media and communications, but realizing the power that these tools have. It was important that the organization that I came to create had components that had storytelling for each part. There's a campaign we call Healing Words, HEELING. It's for our drag performers that get to tell their story. It's like you see the person that's on stage and entertaining you, but there was a journey that person had before they end up walking in those heels, you know? Like Harmonica used to be a Hooters waitress. I'm not sure if she still is, but it's there on her profile. Separate from that, even the stories of our young people. Another campaign is called OM 365 is our HIV/AIDS campaign, because we realize that people living with HIV has this that they're dealing with that throughout their lives, and not just on December 1st when we recognize the International Day of Awareness. So telling these stories bring life and hope, bring resilience, and it offers someone a sense of life, and that, you know, that there is going to be a hope, or, you know, that there's someone who could empathize with them. For me, when on my darkest path, maybe 11 years ago, I started to journalize growing up in church. You know, I said, let me create these daily devotionals for LGBTQIA plus community, people with a church or Christian background, to reconcile their faith, because I feel I was always meeting people who left church because of things that they heard, and, you know, they still had a relationship with God, but they felt shut away. So I started creating these things daily, and people loved it. So I think that's something I really want to get back into, because even last week I'm meeting all people, you know, there were once PK or pastor's kids, or in church, felt some way because they were shunned or rejected. But my belief in the God that we serve is all loving and totally embraces all of us. So it's important for that each of us tells a story in any form or scale. It could be one-on-one with our buddy that we were sitting having a glass of wine, or even sharing as a as a blogger, you know. So there is truth in life in storytelling.
That's so beautiful. You see, like this is like, I get teary-eyed because I start to listen to everyone giving testimony and just opening up the way you guys are opening up, and that's the magic, right? That's the magic of all of this, and the fact that you guys are actually allowing yourselves to be vulnerable and like share your story. I mean, you have no idea like how impactful it is. So I really, really, really am appreciative of all of it. Okay, all right. So I don't want to keep everybody all night. So we are gonna move on to the next question. All right. So overall, and this is kind of like along the lines of what you guys are already talking about, but if you could briefly, just say like, what are some of the small lessons, big lessons that you've learned coming out of 2020 or overall just in life, because everybody's kind of like, maybe you're at a milestone age, like Mikey, or maybe, you're at a different chapter in terms of you're married or you just, you do drag queen story hour and that's something that, you're passionate about and you want to talk about it, whatever it is, definitely feel free to share. So actually speaking of drag queen story hour, let's talk about Monica. And let's see. So what are some of the lessons that you would like to share coming out of 2020 or overall in life?
Well, I'm sure a lot of us realize, we've officially realized that so many things and so many things that we take for granted can be snatched away from us, without warning, and so my message is to do the things that you would like to do. I like travel as well. I believe that was Kira who said she enjoyed travel, right? And I started to think of all the places that I hadn't been to, and I've been to a lot of places, but I still have more on my list. And I always hear so many people say, oh, I always wanted to go here. I want to go here, and then we realized we couldn't go anywhere. You know what I'm saying? We couldn't, we could barely, go to the store, past 10 o'clock at some point, so all the things that we took for granted that have been snatched from us, now it's time for us to realize that could easily happen again and under a whole nother situation. So let's start to live and do the things that we really want to do without putting things off. And because I'm sure you heard so many people say, oh, when everything opens up, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And then they kind of like New Year's resolutions. They kind of go right back into their same regular routine, and we've got to keep that momentum up and live life to the fullest because, our days are not promised.
Exactly. And thank you for forming that connection with Kira, because Kira, if you would like to go next, because you guys have something in common, is the travel,
Thank you, Harmonica. So I think that's a perfect connection that you made because for me, I'm glad that I always said yes to every adventure. I'm glad that anytime someone said, oh, do you want to go here? Or even if it was another continent, I would always be like, sure, I'm there. But then even though it was great, then I started to think, especially during 2020, like anything can end, in a day or tomorrow. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. And then I was asking myself, like, are you going on these vacations because you're passionate about travel? And then I said, yes, I love exploring new cultures, meeting new people from all walks of lives, all kinds of countries. But are you running away from something at home? You feel like you need that escape. And I had to ask myself those questions because then I was like, maybe you need to focus on how you make your everyday life where you live like a vacation, right? And like, are you passionate about what you're doing? Are you giving back to others? Like, what's your legacy if everything were to end tomorrow? Well, I mean, if people are left, but like, what do you want your legacy to be? And then I realized that I was like back in New York before I moved to Charlotte, just always running around from one event to the next and keeping myself busy. And now I'm like, okay, take a step back and put into practice different things. So like I said, meditate, be more intentional. And another thing is that I was always like a control freak. And I've learned to let go, to be more vulnerable. And it's scary, but it's a beautiful thing.
Exactly. Just let it go. Yes. Beautiful. All right, let me go down to Janice and then we'll do Jennifer.
Hey. So one of my biggest things that I own when I go live or I do any kind of like story on Facebook or Instagram, I always tell everyone, don't forget to live your best life. And I always say that because for a while I wasn't. As a mom, I was like, I don't have dreams anymore. I'm a mom of two. This is it. It's over, you know? And, you know, for all the moms out there that thinking like, you can't do anymore, there's no time, I'm testament that there is time. I fit my business and the cracks of my schedule, and I realized that I had a voice and that there was so much more for the taking. And 2020 really got me out of my comfort zone to realize like, it's important to have multiple streams of income. It's important to, you know, not only focus on yourself, but there's other people out there and they needed me and that I mattered. And whether it was a busy mom, if it was the single woman, if it was, you know, women all over of different walks of life and things like that, like I knew that I wanted to contribute more. And so just do it, you know, live your best life and whatever that means for you. And it's just so important to be like that because it's like, you know, social media is there, it's free, you know, and it's like, why not take advantage of it? You just never know who you're going to be impacting, and be the light in the darkness, because the darkness will take over itself and do all it needs to do. Hi, Pop. Sorry, that's my child. Mom life, it's never perfect, you guys, never perfect. Somebody's interrupting me all the time. But you know, just be the light in the darkness, because the darkness will take over in and of itself. It's the light that's, you know, that you have to work harder for to really get it out there. And you know, it was really exciting for me to be able to do that. And you know, my business thrived in the middle of a pandemic, and it was just testament that, you know, if you just step out in faith, and you know, faith over fear, give more power to your faith, and just, you know, give it all to God, and you know, great things can happen. And I've met so many incredible people in general, women, everybody from different walks of life, and just connecting with people that I've never even met before, and they're like some of my best friends, you know. And you know, that's exciting for me because it was like, you know what, I'm glad that I believed enough in myself that, you know, now there's other people out there that see themselves in me and are really living their best life. Because everyone comes on, oh, hey girl, I'm just living my best life, you know, and I love that.
Exactly. No, and honestly, you know, so I don't get to see Janice every day, but through the power of social media, obviously, like all of you, you know, we got to connect and we got to see each other, and it's motivating. And that's like, honestly, why I just like, you know, just started to pick out people like, yo, these, like everyone here motivates me in some way, somehow, you know what I mean? And so that's the magic. And I'm sure that everyone here is motivating 10 more people in some way, somehow. So definitely that's like a great point to be made.
And
Okay.
you motivate us. You're incredible. So thank you so much for this opportunity. We love you.
Thank you. All right, Jennifer, if you would like to go next.
Well, for myself, at the end of 2019, I had to do some self reevaluation, and then I had started, as Janice and Kara and Harmonica said, about living your best life. And that's the time frame of December is when I started using the hashtag living my best life. And then I started a 2020 off amazingly. Each month I need to get out of here to a state in a location, even though maybe for work, but I get to have my downtime that I've never been to. I want to eat their most common food. I want to go to all the neighborhoods. And this is where my mind frame was at. And then COVID hit while I'm away. I panicked. I had my family combined into one space. And it wore me down. It wore me down. But professionally, things had started to thrive. I didn't have time to wait of what I was missing, because I'm seeing people, Black people being murdered. I'm watching Asians be harmed. I'm watching people overall drop off like flies with something we don't know. I wasn't alive 100 years ago when the Spanish flu got here, but I never foreseen this. And when the end of 2020 came, I had become so overwhelmed between work and caring for my family. I had promised myself and to everyone around me that I'm losing myself again. So don't feel no type of way. I think I'm gonna have to take this vaccination because I have to get the heck out of here. I need to get back on this journey. And in some cases, I can work from there. I need to explore. I need to meet other people, see other people that look like me within the other states. I need to absorb as much as my own country as possible. So I can next move to do would be to go overseas, and I'm gonna set some things up that's gonna be out of my own funds. And I want some of y'all to join with me so I could use that hashtag of living our best lives, because we haven't taken anything, a trip or anything within a year, thanks to COVID. But as saddening as COVID was, it also reminded me, as they previously stated, that so many people lost everything, including their lives. And any arguments, any I don't like yous, any you make me uncomfortable, all that did not matter when I have friends and family members who have caught COVID, and some are just coming out of comas and stuff. Thank God I don't know anyone personally in my heart that has died, but I got to think about all the others who abruptly lost family members or ended up in hospital and couldn't visit them. I don't ever want to experience that again, but I know that's just things that's out of my control. All I had to do was observe, adapt, and conquer, and to make myself and my loved ones survive the best way possible. So it was an extra second time in my life I had to go into survival mode. But those trinkets such as alcohol and bleach and Lysol and mask, yes, these are a time when we have to be more aware, and made me had to adult up in a more of an adult way than I ever had to adult up. And I don't ever want to lose it. I want to lose COVID, yes, but I don't want to lose those thoughts of that propelled me to go further as a person ever, because I wouldn't have never have had those things possibly in me if COVID, or at least not to that degree, if COVID didn't hit. I probably was still out here having a little more petty in me, having a little more reckless abandon in me, but these moments made me sit here and truly think before I acted. And because it wasn't just me at stake, me sitting outside saying, hey, I'm gonna go to this place where people are gonna be at who I know not doing right, I could also damage my family. So I had to think wisely and make the best of an ill situation, because there's others who couldn't even do that. So yes, I don't ever want to lose the thoughts and the memories of what we had to endure, because God forbid if it happens again, because I got a funny feeling with the way this world is now, child, it ain't gonna be another 100 years. It's gonna be another time in my lifespan, and I need to be prepared for it.
Yep. I totally agree. We're so, I mean, but the upside to it, we're hopefully we'll be ready, more ready than not ready, right? Because I mean, this is obviously, I didn't live necessarily through the HIV epidemic, like when it was happening here, and but like now I got a small taste of what it must have been like, and so I actually feel like it's fitting just to take a quick moment of silence for everyone we've lost to COVID, to HIV, to all those family members, to the Black Lives Matter movement, to George Floyd, everything that has happened from today and in the past. Just a moment of silence. And definitely, you touched the nerve there, so I had to just do that real quick. But definitely, thank you for that. Okay, Mikey, I didn't get to you, right? And Day, I didn't get to you yet, right? Okay, so Mikey and Day.
Sure. Thank you for everyone. This is very powerful stuff. For me, because of being a man on the move, always having something to do, and always keeping busy, I was the opposite. I had what COVID taught me going out was looking back into my family and appreciating them more and securing and building the relationship. I have a very small family. It's my mom, dad, and myself as far as my nuclear family. And I had to express and get down to the cores of getting uncomfortable and start talking about things that I've never said before, ways that I felt, and try to build and bridge those bonds. And that was the most beautiful thing that I felt this has brought me from, because being a man so in the public eye and doing so much, yet my home and my family life needed a little more strengthening. And I was able to fully tell my family members, mom, dad, sister, that I truly love them, because I was just imagining if they had been, impacted by Corona and I lost them, all the would haves, could haves, and that inability to not express my care and concern for them. So that was my takeaway from the whole experience.
Thank you, Mikey. And Day?
Man, I'm thinking, what didn't I learn from last year? So we was talking. You had mentioned milestone birthdays, and last year was my 30th birthday in January, the top of the year. So I actually did have a chance to do something for my birthday. But for me, it was another instance of what I had did. I had put on a show for my birthday because I figured that would be me being 30, me manifesting more opportunities to produce, to work towards like, even more shows, or even like my goal of the studio and all that other stuff. And then Corona hit. So it brought, for me, it was familiar feelings of when I was first diagnosed with HIV, because I felt like, okay, like that was another instance of like, okay, instance of something just bringing something to a halt, bringing life to a halt. There was thousands and millions, like, millions of people across the globe dying from something that was unknown. And there was a bigger lesson within terms of like slowing down for me, actually, that while I was kind of upset, like, oh, I couldn't do shows at XYZ, that I've also realized that I was once again in instances doing way too much. And the thing about it is that while you can have the passion to do a lot, sometimes if you don't put boundaries, you're not able to be good for yourself. If you're not able to be good for yourself, you cannot expect to be your utmost best for your community, for your family, for your friends, things of that nature. We definitely talked about spirituality here. I've become so much more in tune with my spirituality. Full transparency, I read tarot cards, I use pendulums, I do like a lot of divination, and more so like self divination, where I was like really going inward and trying to figure out like what, after all is said and done, and when we reopen our doors and come back out into the world, what do I expect from myself? Like when, like, we're at this place now, right? So for me, the lesson that I've learned is to be a lot more outspoken. And once again, that was more so a trigger of like the injustices that we've went through in terms of being Black and being killed by police. Trans individuals historically in general being killed by not even just police, but by people who are transphobic, who we don't even, unfortunately, even know how many more of our siblings out there we may have lost, because it happens so frequently, unfortunately. But for me, all of those things have made me, once again, much more louder. Also, in terms of slowing down, I've been using my PTO. Okay. I've learned to not be guilty, not feel guilty about needing mental health breaks, not feeling guilty about I need a vacation, not feeling guilty about I need a sick leave. If I had to take it, I'm one of those people who actually realized that I never use sick leave until I need, like, there was a couple of instances where I was like, nope, I have to take this time off. I'll be back to work tomorrow, but I have to take like at least a couple of days to handle some personal health things. And when you realize that, like, you know, the life that we was living before, for me personally, I'm only speaking of I statements, okay, that it's very much like a simulation that we put out there to think that, oh, work hard, work hard, work hard, like you'll get to your goal, get to your goal, get to your goal. But we never talk about like what it looks like when you actually take time to say, okay, I'm cutting everything off and I'm going to get back to me. And I need to get back to me. Even if that means I lose a couple of dollars, even if that means, like, you know, it might be like a lost gig or something like that, because once again, I dance as well as my day job or whatever the case. I still need to get back to my, you know, my well-being. And if that means sit down, play a video game, you know, chat with my mom here and there, but even sometimes I'm like, Mom, because she decided to retire. So she be calling me. And I'm like, Mom, I love you so much, but this is my prayer time. You know, I gotta like take it to me. You know, like it's all about taking it back. The one thing that I'm learning is about solidifying my time and not wasting my specific time.
Exactly.
And getting back to like seeing, like, you know, for me that also does include seeing family and friends. So I'm getting back to setting time for, like, you know, okay, I won't be able to make this gig because I have an outing with my friends. Or my mom, like, you know, my mom's still talking about trying to travel. So I'll plan something with her in the meantime. But like those things, take time for yourself, because if you don't, like RuPaul be saying, you don't love yourself, how the hell you gonna love somebody else?
That's right. Can I get an amen?
Okay.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautifully said. Thank you, thank you. No, 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 it's so important, so important. Okay, guys, so I'm keeping conscious of time and we're running a little bit over. So I'm gonna consolidate the last like two questions into one. And so basically, if you could just highlight like some of the things that you have coming up, but you know, if you had one takeaway from today, what would that be? Okay, all right. So I'm gonna start with my boys because there's only, you know, let me see. So let's start with Mikey and then we're gonna work our way down. So Mikey, Harmonica, Day, Kira, Jennifer, and then Janice. Okay.
Super. So it's Pride season. There's events for the org happening nonstop. I have 6 things this week, starting this Friday and then Saturday. So if you guys check out onmycloset.org or follow us on our social media, which will be posted, it's busy. It's just giving back and empowering and advocating and doing the core of our services. A quick takeaway that there's powerful people in here. I've been led with tears and laughter both. And it's great that we will all be dominoes and just affect and just change and inspire. So thank you, Jomil, for having us. You are truly the marshmallows and the Rice Krispies bringing people together.
Thank you for that analogy. I've never thought of myself as that, but I like it. I like it. Okay, let's do Day there. Did I say Day and the harmonica? Yeah.
You said the other way around, but it's okay.
The other way, harmonica and then Day. Okay.
Okay. All right. Okay. So, let's see. Yeah, there are lots of Pride events happening. You know, so many. You know, we're just come out again. As far as, you know, doing things. So there's lots of events. Make sure you support those Pride events in your area. I'm so happy to see that New Jersey has so many small towns having their own Pride celebrations, because that means a lot to someone living in those small towns, to know that they are loved and appreciated and acknowledged for their presence. Because a lot of people sometimes may leave a small town to go to a big city where they feel people are more accepting and more open-minded. And by having these celebrations, it means that people get to say, hey, you know, I don't have to leave here to be myself and to thrive in the place where people know me. You know, so that's one great thing. You can follow me on Instagram under H Sunbeam. I'm doing events all over, wherever they send for me. And you can also subscribe to my OnlyFans, which is, I'm just kidding. This is actually my OnlyFans I have. It's right here. And it looks like this. All right. So thank you all. And I'm glad to have been chosen to be a part of this panel this evening.
Yes, thank you, thank you. And if people haven't noticed already, Harmonica is the comedy queen. Okay. All right. And a Day?
All right, so I'm gonna keep it brief, because I like to ramble. In terms of my performances, because like I said, it's Mercury retrograde, so I'm just doing it as they come along. This Thursday, I actually do have a performance at the Photographiska Museum. It's going to be produced by Black Girls Poll, and it's called After Dark. It's to actually celebrate a photography exhibit called Onyx, which highlights the exotic Dancer Realm and Club Onyx in Houston, Texas. So tickets are live, Photographica NYC, and that's very much on 22nd Street and Park Avenue. I'm also dancing at DeKalb Stage on the 26th, and that's for a pride party in Brooklyn. So you could come see myself, Blaine Petrovia, Samuel Paul, Samuel Doblik, a bunch of my freaking pole friends, because it's going to be like a reunion. So come out party. It's a freaking pride party. Like, let's go. Impulse Group, more so next is the thing. So we actually have a podcast out that we just started. It's called Sign Off AWF. So sign off. And the whole thing is for you to like sign off from your adult responsibilities to just like come chat with us about community topics. So we already started off like a pilot last week. And this upcoming one, we'll be talking about Juneteenth and supporting an organization, the Black and Brown Equity Coalition on Cherry Grove, that's doing an event in Fire Island. So just letting them know we're popping out there to do that. Other than that, also, if you want to follow my story, once again, HIVstopswithme.org. It's myself and 29 other spokesmodels across New York State, where we answer questions of the month as well, too. One of our most recent one, of course, is dealing with pride and what it means to us. And if you want to follow me on social media, you can follow me Facebook here, Day Armbrister. NSFW, but it's Pole Phoenix with a number 3, PHO number 3 NIX. Or if you want me to close on, it's Phoenix Inc. PHO number 3 NIXINC. Yeah, hey, I'm here. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Day. All right, next, Kira.
So I'm actually leading a couple of projects at work. One of them is supporting our diversity, equity, and inclusion efforts and initiatives. So since I mentioned that I help manage the wellbeing program globally, we have courageous conversations. We also have different activities that we load to our wellbeing portal for employees to take action, know resources, how to get help. And then also through different programs at work, we offer like matching incentives if you want to make donations to DEI organizations. Then I'm also leading the revamp of an employee recognition program at work. And that has been really fun. I'm learning so much. And it's a testament that sometimes you're a little bit scared to take a leap of faith and take on different responsibilities. But you need to trust in yourself and your skills and just go for it no matter if you're scared. And I think, I don't know if it was Janice that said, faith over fear. I think utilizing that in everything that you do. And then what I learned today is all of you are amazing, very courageous. Your storytelling, I've learned so much, and I appreciate Jomil the opportunity to be a part of this reunion.
Thank you, Kira. Thank you so much for being here. And my screen is minimized, so I see Jennifer Love next.
Thank you for having me. And it was a pleasure being here with you guys all tonight. My upcoming events, I don't have any entertainment gigs. However, this Thursday, I will be co-hosting with the Didi Delgado Experience, a live white label collective experience of card writing for incarcerated people. And this Sunday, Father's Day, from 10 a.m. to 12 noon, myself, Black and Pink NYC, as well as Creative Time, and Rashid Johnson will be in NoHo at the place at the Red Stage by the Q to do a Father's Day card writing / Pride celebration card writing gathering for incarcerated members who can't get to celebrate Father's Day out here in the free world, and sure enough can't celebrate Pride in the free world. So you are more than welcome to attend. All supplies will be given to you, and it would be an amazing thing to make sure that people on the inside are remembered that they are still human and they don't get the luxury to celebrate these amazing opportunities like we do.
Exactly, exactly. Amen to that. And Jennifer, Mikey actually mentioned in the comments that he would love to connect with you. So definitely you two connect. There's a lot of
I
connections
DM'd you.
here.
You got my DM already, Mikey?
Okay,
And
good,
by
good,
the
good,
way,
good.
on Instagram, you can follow me at Jennifer Love 1976. That's one word, JENNIFERLOVE 1976.
I love it. That was like a commercial. Yes. All right. And my Puerto Rican sister from Camden, from another Mister, Janice.
Hi. So yes, you guys can follow me. I'm on Mondays at 1 p.m. I'm part of a nonprofit organization called Project Refit that helps veterans that are transitioning into the civilian world. And I have a new segment for the female veteran voice on Mondays at 1 p.m. with Project Refit. So go find me on there. You can catch me on Facebook at Janice Lavanos all the time. I'm always uplifting and empowering on there, putting all the positive vibes. And I go live and do beauty tips, Monday motivation, things like that. You can catch me on Instagram at JLivBoss, JLIVBOSS. And my website is janiceglamshop.com. And I just learned so much from all of you. And I just feel like we all kind of like really almost had a same story and a lot of similar things in our lives, and it really connected really well. So I just thank you all for sharing and allowing me to be on here with you. And it's just such an honor to connect. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes. Thank you, Janice. And I just wanted, like, in closing, I just wanted to share really quickly, like, some of the points that came out tonight and how you all kind of like had those connecting moments, right? So Mikey, lifting others up, healing words, everything you do for the LGBT, homeless youth, people of color, so much power in sharing stories. So keep doing what you're doing. Harmonica, do the things you would like to do. Keep it up, push, rejuvenate. You know how to keep yourself fresh. Support local. Since since I've known you, I know the message of, and we've worked together in bartending, nightlife. I mean, it's about supporting local.
Hold on. You got to tell them that we're working together this Thursday. Hello.
Oh, hello. Yes, we're doing the Bronx LGBT Expo this Thursday. Yes, and we're going to be working together. So we'll be there from 1 to 9, and basically Harmonica's hosting the entertainment section in the evening. And so and I'll actually be doing a little comedy routine. Harmonica's hilarious. She's gonna perform, do some routines too. If anybody's definitely looking to come out, definitely come out. And generational difference, Harmonica, I wanted to point that out. You are creating generational difference with the stories that you're creating with these little kids, that you're just exposing them. That's so super important, because they're gonna grow up one day and be like, I know what a drag queen is, and that's beautiful. Then we got, Jennifer Love, resilience, strength, push forward, adult up. I took that away from you. Trans visibility, keep doing what you're doing. It's like your story is powerful because there's so many moments where you could have given up, but you keep pushing forward, and you are so beautiful. So keep doing what you're doing. Janice, everyone took away the faith over fear, right? Happiness, you always make me happy. You've always made me happy, even when we were kids. Live your best life, resilience, strength, nurturing. Now you're a mommy. I'm so proud of you. Kira, cultured, you're so well traveled, strength, direction. You have such a direction about you, drive. Looking at the home within you. That was so powerful when you said that. The home and the vacation that you are, you know what I mean? That was really powerful. Day, visibility of the everyday, the underdog. You know me, I love me a good underdog. And none of you are underdogs at all, but in a way, it's about, somebody said the linear, about supporting the linear. You said that, day, right? So supporting.
Issa Rae basically said, like, let's start networking horizontal.
Exactly. Why always reach all the way up here and try, you know what I mean? It's about the everyday story, you know what I mean? So that we can start giving each other an opportunity. And that's really the essence too of what the Community Spotlight is about. And keep doing the most, Day, because you do the most. And then, just the power of social media, how it's all brought us together. I know that sometimes, it's hard for all of us to be in person. And this probably wouldn't have been possible in person if it wouldn't have been for the power of social media. And this came out of something tragic like COVID-19, and, we're all here. So keep doing what you're doing, support each other. If you guys want to be part of the She Ready Revolution, these shirts are for sale, and you could just go onto my bio on my Instagram, Jomil_Luna, or on my Facebook. All right, y'all know where to find me. Y'all know where to find these beautiful people now. People share comments, share each other's contact info. Keep doing what y'all doing. If you guys like this, anybody watching, share, like, and comment. And I hope you all stay blessed and have a good night. I love y'all. She ready for the people of the
I
world.
want to share.
Ready. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone. Mwah.